Hi guys, today I'd like to talk about my topics which I started recently about sex and accessibility for men, and I wanted to clarify it, to give you more details, because some of my friends started worrying about what is happening with me, that I'm depressed, that I'm looking strange, I'm doing strange things. Some of you might think I'm preoccupied, I'm pervert, and let's discuss it in more details. I prepared these papers in order not to forget something, because I have a huge list of what I'd like to cover today, because it's a serious questions and we need to discuss. I don't want to sit quietly in my house and not to talk about problems which I have. But I realized that it's not only my problem that I experience, it's a much bigger social problem. A lot of other men experience such issue, and this is a reason why I decided to record a series of these videos to address this problem to the society, so that people can understand, because not all men experience it in their lives. It's just a portion of men, but still it is a huge amount of men. And now we have feminists, right? We have feminists who are screaming from almost every kettle that we have equal rights, that men and women are equal. And I thought, if feminists can scream about it, why I cannot do the same? And today I will be using this term equal rights, because this is what they want, equal rights. So let's discuss this equal rights today on example of this sexual access for men and women. I'll shut down my car and let's continue. First, I was thinking that maybe I'm just being strange, being weird, something wrong with me. But after having this issue for a long period of time, I was thinking, I was researching this topic, and I found out that there is a whole bunch of men, single men, good-looking men, highly intelligent men, who are single and they are virgins and they don't have sex access. Even they wish, they cannot get it by some reasons. They are being rejected by women. And I will be talking about these questions based on my own experience as a Russian citizen, because only here in Russia I experienced this issue in the very acute form. Nowhere in the world I had such a problem. Of course, in other places it might be easier, but of course it takes efforts. In Russia it is like zero result from any efforts I make. And I thought, interesting, why? What's wrong? Why? Let's discuss it today. And I found a whole category of men who never had sex experience. For example, they could be extremely shy, or they are not rich enough, or they are not having high status in society, or they are very gentle and polite and not arrogant enough, not masculine enough. They have this facial expression, not aggressive enough. There is a lot of different reasons why they can reject it, why women can reject men. And I'd like to discuss this category of men who never had sex in their life, and they don't even have possibility to have sex because they are invisible, they are just ignored. And let's get to my own example as a Russian citizen. So I was born in Russia, and I never had girlfriend in Russia. I never had sex with Russian girlfriend, with Russian woman. And is this normal? I was always thinking about it. And then one day I was able to escape this country. I was able to experience a lot of other cultures. And I was lucky enough, I was able to get sex abroad. But most of the countries where I've been is some tropical countries, exotic countries, and you might object that they're just third world countries and people are poor. And I can tell you that, for example, Mexico City is comparable to Moscow City. Prices are almost identical. It's not cheaper. And I was able to have dates, I was able to meet women, and we had mutual sympathy, and we had mutual desire, and I was able to get sex with a reasonable amount of money. And with the same efforts in Russia, I'm not able to get any sex. Zero. For all my life. Some people say to me that you're just being treated as exotic foreigner for them. I can agree with that. It is possible. I'm exotic Russian man in a hot Mexican country. Women want to experience something different. Yes, I agree with that. But it's okay. I mean, it's not a question how I get sex. I was able, and it works. It's not an issue. If they consider me exotic, okay, I'm exotic. If it's the only way to get sex, I will get it that way. And maybe there is the same problem for Mexican men in Mexico, which are invisible for Mexican women, which also are not able to get sex. It is very likely that there is exactly the same problem in Mexico for Mexicans, as I have this problem in Russia as a Russian citizen. And yes, as I said, I tried a lot of efforts, but most of the time I was humiliated, I was used for some benefits, and in result I was just rejected here in Russia. And some of my friends told me, you just need to move, you just need to go to a bigger city, and you will have chance to meet someone. But I can tell you that I tried to live in Moscow, I tried to live in Penza, I tried to live in other bigger cities, and there is no difference. It's not a question of city size, it's a question of society. It's a question of values that women value in men. I mean, qualities that women value in men. And most of these values, they are not their own beliefs, they are just injected into their minds by this social media, by movies, by the society. These trends of a successful man, this trend of being masculine, powerful, rich, this is what women value nowadays. But it can be changed. It just depends on the propaganda which we have. For example, if there is this kind of movies that it is good to value, to treat all people based on their personal qualities, not based on their income, not based on their possessions, then women requests, women demands will change. They will treat men with lower status. I mean, they will be treated as good as men with high income. If, for example, they have good personality, they have good sense of humor, or any other personal quality. But today we have this. We have this hero, we have this macho, like Mr. Putin, who is flying in the sky with birds, who is very rich, powerful. This is a very good example of what women like nowadays. This is what they want to get. And for example, if you are just a janitor, you have low income, almost no one wants to stay with such a loser. And yeah, let's get back to my example. So when I got back to Russia after my travels, everything repeated. Even I had a lot of experience, and I had experience with women. Nothing changed for me. I am still invisible for Russian women, and also, yeah, I don't have any sex until now. And also what I noticed that, for example, if you have a date, then the most common questions, the very first questions they ask is, what's your job, and do you have a house, do you own apartment, Do you have a car? They are asking about material possessions. What do you have? And when woman realizes that you just that she will not get any material value from you, she will leave you, she will reject you, and they are not interested in you as a person. They are not starting talking about personal qualities. This is what I noticed. And what if I don't have a job? I'm not a human anymore? What do you think? What if I don't want to work? What if I have enough money in order not to work? It's my own choice. I can do whatever I want. It doesn't matter about having job or having high status. And yeah, there is a whole category of men who are virgins, who never had sex in their lives, and who never get girlfriend, but they wish. And there is thousands of these men, and it's not just some ugly and stupid guys. I know personal examples. I know them personally. This kind of men, not stupid and ugly, but highly educated, very polite. They have good job, yet they don't have girlfriend. They just have their moral principles or something, that they are just not arrogant enough to approach women, to be persistent enough, and they become invisible. They are just ignored, and they just continue their virgin lives. And also think about efforts which man needs to make in order to get sex, and then efforts about which women need to make in order to get sex, and the difference is huge. And woman can always get sex for free. Not even for free, she can get a lot of benefits. Is just because she was born as a woman, she have vagina, and with her vagina she can make money, not just as a prostitute, but I call it as domestic prostitute, being a good girl but getting benefits from men. And they call it equal rights. We have equal rights in words, but not in reality. We never had equal rights, and I don't know if we will ever have. And today we live in the age of sex. We see a lot of sex. We have a lot of sexual content in movies, and we need to release that energy somehow. Otherwise there will be a depression, there will be an aggression, and you might end up with some disease or with cancer if you don't release that energy, because it's not healthy to shut it down when you want to release it. And some of you might say, just go and masturbate, and I'll tell you that I'm not masturbating. I consider this as a perversion, because God created us as men and women. Men, they have penis, and then women, they have vagina. And the only way, the only acceptable way for me how it should work is that penis is being placed into vagina. That's the only way. Everything else is considered by me as perversion. All these lesbians and gays is a perversion, and it must be treated accordingly. I'm not preoccupied. I just want to fulfill my basic needs, because it is basic needs both for women and men, and they should be able to satisfy those needs. But sex today is a commodity. They trade this sacredness, and I believe that it should not work that way. Sex must be free, because both men and women, they have pleasure out of it. So this is the problem. There is men who never get sex. Not any sex. Not even once a month, not even once a year, not even once in 10 years, because they're invisible. They don't exist for women. And it is discrimination, because this kind of men, they have to suffer all their life. And not all men are lucky like me, because I can buy a ticket anytime, I can go abroad, I can find sex. It is possible. But there is men who don't have this possibility, who have to stay here. They have not enough money to do the same thing as I do, and they have to suffer, because it's a torture to see sex and not to have sex. And I think it must be regulated somehow, and I just wanted to discuss this issue today and address it to people, so that you can understand that such problem exists, and we are not animals. We are not a flock of monkeys who live by instincts. We live in society, and I think each man should have a woman, and as long as each woman has a man, that will be equal. It will be fair. So that's it, guys. Bye bye.